Nice. So we're talking about Uttar Mimamsa, that is Vedant. So human psyche. So consciousness is the essential nature of self, that is Atma, eternal, self-luminous and identical in Advaita or related in Vishishta Dvaita or Dvaita to Brahman, and that is Brahma. The mind, that is Manas, intellect, Buddhi and ego, Ahankar, are instruments that reflect consciousness but are not consciousness themselves. Right. In bondage, I think either volume can be raised. It is coming clearly to can be increased, no? Yeah, because I have to speak louder. Some amount of volume can be removed. Determinant of conduct of human being. So conduct is shaped by ignorance, desires and attachments, and knowledge and devotion. So generally, if you see, if the person is not awakened, then causes identification with body and mind, that is avidya. Then desires and attachments lead to karma and rebirth. And finally, knowledge, that is gyan, and devotion, bhakti, lead to purification and liberation. In Vedanta, action, that is karma, purify, but knowledge of the self as Brahma is the ultimate determinant of final liberation. So finally, one has to see the Brahm, that I am the Brahm. The full potential of human psyche. So the highest potential is moksha, liberation, realization of one's true nature as the infinite self. According to Advaita, it is non-dual Brahm. Vishishta eternal service to the Supreme. Dvaita, proximity to the Lord. So these three propositions are there as full potential for the human psyche. And in this state, ignorance is destroyed. There is no bondage of karma and rebirth. Consciousness is experienced as Satchit Anand, existence, consciousness, and bliss. Satchit Anand, hai na, this. So Sat is the existence, Chit is the consciousness, and Anand is the bliss. So I have to reach that state. Prominent problems of an undeveloped human psyche: avidya, that is ignorance, root cause of suffering and bondage; adhyas, that is superimposition, mistaking body, mind for self; desire, calm, anger, krodh, greed, love, and this the list can be longer. Generally, the problems are mentioned as Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Mad, and Matsarya. These 6 vikar are there. So Kam is like sensual desires, Krodh, anger, Lobh, greed, Moh, attachment, Mad, height of ego, that I am supreme or something, and Matsarya, ill will for others. Okay, these are 6 vikar, right? When the self is deluded, when the self is not awakened. Karmic bondage, continuous cycle of birth and rebirth. Process of developing the human psyche. So Vedanta prescribes a threefold or integrated path: Shravan, Manan, and Nididhyasana. We'll talk about it. So Shravan is listening to the teachings of the Upanishads, gaining right understanding. So basically, grasping the proposal is Shravan. Manan, contemplation, removing doubts without reasoning. So assimilating what is being said here, right? And Nididhyasana, meditation, deep assimilation of truth. So Nididhyasana is the state when you are able to see the truth. So this is another way of looking at it. So if you look at self-exploration also, it can be put in other words like Shravan, Manan, and Nididhyasana. Right? And additional disciplines include Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, and Jnana Yoga. Karma Yoga is selfless action to purify the mind. Bhakti, devotion to the Supreme Being. Jnana Yoga, direct pursuit of self-knowledge. Now, if you try to place it here, like, are we doing all this? So when you are doing self-exploration, then you are getting the proposal, you are exploring within, right? And also living accordingly. That will come here at Manan. And then Nidhyasana means you are able to see the reality. So you are able to awaken the higher level activities of the self. That is Nidhyasana. And if you look at these 3 yoga, Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, and Jnana Yoga. So when you are doing behavior, work, and participation, this is your Karma Yoga, and even thinking, right? Bhakti means to fulfill the relationship. So why to fulfill the relationship with only one deity, right? With every human being, to the whole humanity, to the entire nature. I can see my relationship and try to fulfill it. That is bhakti. And Gyan is awakening the higher level activities. So in the process of self-exploration, we are doing all the three. That's why we are saying that you have to work for awakening the higher level activities. You have to fulfill the relationship in the family, in the society, in the organization where you are working with every human being. And you have to do karma. So you have to work at the level of imagination, then ensure your proper behavior, work and participation. This is karma. So something similar with a different terminology has been said here. Now, expression or proof of a developed human psyche, equanimity and fearlessness. Now, it can be placed in multiple words. That is freedom from dualities of pleasure and pain. So, equanimity, samta. If you read Gita, then in Gita it is clearly said that you have to be in the state of samatva, samta. Labha, labh, hani, jaya, jayo. That shlok is there, no? If somebody remembers correctly. So you have to be free of all that. Whatever be the outcome, whether it is profit or loss, victory or loss, you have to remain in that state of equanimity. So a person who has got liberated, will be in the state of equanimity and fearlessness. Compassion and universal love, spontaneous expression of oneness with all. Non-attachment, vairagya, no craving for material or egoistic gains. Unwavering knowledge of self, aham brahmasmi in Advait, or eternal devotion and bliss in God in theistic Vedanta. So there again, like whether I am saying that I am Brahm or I have become Brahmavat. Brahmavat means just like the space, just like the Brahm. So when I am seeing the whole existence as coexistence and I am there in coexistence, I can see with my relationship with all. So it appears as if I am one with the whole existence. There is no difference, there is no gap, right? That is that state, the elevated state. Liberation, moksha, final proof, freedom from the cycle of birth and death, abiding in infinite consciousness. So we can all see that the psychology proposed here is essentially to liberate the self. In all the 6 philosophies that we studied, right, in the Indian philosophy, ultimately the goal is to liberate oneself. You may call it Turiya, you may call it Kaivalya, you may call it Moksha. If you look at Jainism and Buddhism, so Keval Gyan or Nirvana, and this is Paramanand, the state of Paramanand. So if you look at the Indian philosophy, so bearing the Charvaks, we observe the following salient features of Indian philosophy. Indian philosophy is usually spiritual in nature. Religion and philosophy are intertwined and sometimes they are inseparable. So with you could see that rituals are there. In Sankhya, something is being said, and in Yoga we have practices. Right? In Nyaya, something is being said, and Vaisheshik we have practices. In Vedanta, something is being said, and in Purva Mimamsa we have the practices. So they are going together, and that makes the religion. It is complete and comprehensive system. So they are not saying that I can see only up to this much and rest I am not able to see. Every philosophy is saying that I have been able to see the whole thing and I am proposing it the way I am able to see. It usually believes in the doctrine of karma and rebirth. It is not person-centric, but a tradition-oriented system. So it's not that some person is placed at the center, right? It is a tradition. Even in Jain Darshan, this has been a tradition. Now, only in Bauddha Darshan, you can see that Buddha got enlightened and then the tradition started. But in Jain Darshan also, there are 24 Tirthankras. And Buddha is also saying that don't talk on my basis. Appo Deepo Bhava. You be the light yourself. It is a famous saying of Bauddha Darshan. Appo Deepo Bhava. And observe yourself. Be the light yourself. Don't say that since Buddha is saying, so I am saying. No. Strictly, he has been saying this. Liberation is the summum bonum of Indian philosophical tradition. Summum bonum, essentially, a Latin word, it means the final state, the highest state. Ignorance is the root cause of suffering. So basically, all the sufferings are due to ignorance, right? So it's if you compare with the Western psychology, so generally it is being said that other things are making you suffer. Like in the previous 3 schools, if you see, so you are just like an outcome of the various things which are outside. and your whole conduct is determined by things outside, by either your genetic formation or your behavior of the other, or the uh, external stimuli. But here it is being said that no, you are the cause of suffering, and within you it is the ignorance, avidya, that is the cause of the suffering. So you can see the whole shift here as it is being said. The practical aspect of the yoga philosophy is accepted to all the schools. Now you can see that yoga practices, at least up to asana pranayam, is almost practiced entirely in the whole world. Indian culture is the cornucopia of different philosophical and religious sects. So it is an outcome of the philosophies, and you can see a variety of culture in India, in different parts of the country. Following different faiths, the Indians have been living together with peace and harmony for around 3,000 years. And there is an inherent harmony among most of the schools of Indian philosophy. The people have been practicing this, right, almost peacefully, except for a few times when there have been some disputes or something. And it has always been said that if the other group, people are going towards the other group, no need to fight with the other group. You elevate yourself. You become kind of symbol which people like to emulate, people like to be with. In place of showing down others, try to elevate yourself. So this has been a common kind of guideline that has been given. Now, this theory finds expression with Tritiya Upanishad. Now you'll see that this is generally talked about. So I have mentioned it here. So the self can also be explained, or the human being can also be explained in terms of 5 koshas, 5 seats. So the Annamay Kosh, Pranamay Kosh, Manomay Kosh, Vigyanmay Kosh, and Anandamay Kosh. So this is the food body, this is the energy body, that is the Pranamay Kosh. Manomay Kosh is the mental body, Vigyanmay Kosh is the intellect body, and Anandamay Kosh is the bliss body. Now if you look at this diagram, so the Annamay Kosh is this body, the gross body, right? Pranamay Kosh, the energy body, is the coexistence of self and body, where interaction between self and body is taking place. Manomay Kosh, if you look at it, is the imagination part. Vigyanmay Kosh is intellect here, at the level of understanding. This is Vigyanmay Kosh. And Anandamay Kosh is here, at the level of realization, the Atma. So the self can also be explained, or the existence of human being can also be explained in terms of these 5 koshas, right? So the human personality is made up of 5 layers or 5 sheets which cover the reality of the human being. Personality or spiritual development takes place on the path of moving inwards along the koshas. So they are saying that you have to move inward. Presently, one may be caught up in physical things, living only at the level of Annamay Kosh. Then one has to move further to energy body, that is the Pranamay, then Manomay, then Vigyanmay, and finally Anandamay. Right? So this is also one way of looking at things. Where am I focused? Like, what is the focus or center of my living? Is it food body or energy body or mental body or intellect body or bliss body? What is the center of my being? Where am I working? Where am I active? Am I working only to fulfill the needs of the body? Okay. Or am I caught up in sensations? Or am I just thinking, analyzing, comparing? Or I'm trying to understand? Or I'm trying to realize? What is the center of my being? That one can make out, right? So Annamaya Kosh, food sheath, the first and outermost layer of the self is Annamaya Kosh, which literally means food sheath. It is the physical body made of matter, which includes the skin, bones, muscles, organs, and other tissues. The kosh is responsible for our basic survival needs like food, water, and shelter. It is through the Annamaya kosh that we experience the physical world and interact with the natural environment around us. Pranamaya kosh, the vital sheath, the energy body. So the Pranamaya kosh is the energy sheath of the body. The kosh is made up of 5 major pranas mentioned above, helping flow life force energy throughout the body. As a result, Pranamaya kosh plays an important part in vital functions we need to stay alive, such as breathing, digestion, and circulation. So you'll see that there are 5 kinds of breath also, like pran, apan, you'll see that there are 5 classifications. right? One may Google and see. So uh, apan, dhyan, saman, udan, है ना, and pran. Like this, they have classified, right? So in the pranamay course, you can see 5 kinds of pran. Then manomay course, mental sheath. So manas means mind. This course is the mental sheath of the body and consists of our feelings, thoughts, emotions, memory, and imagination. So this is the block of imagination. This course is responsible for our cognitive functions like memory, perception, and reasoning, and is where we process our experiences and emotions. Then Vigyanmay course, intellectual sheath, meaning knowledge or wisdom. Vigyanmay is the sheath that sets human beings apart from animals. While we can both experience emotions and deep connections, only human beings have the intellectual ability to determine right from wrong and eternal from illusionary. Illusory. Our intellect, intuition, and inner wisdom are all part of the Vigyanmaya course, making it a key factor in our spiritual growth and development. This course is also where we connect with our innermost selves and experience sense of unity with the universe. Anandamaya course, blissful sheath. Anandamaya course is the bliss filled sheath. It's the finest and thinnest veil covering the self, Atma, and is also known as the level of the soul. The blissful sheath is what allows us to feel happiness. It is also responsible for our spiritual contentment and liberation, where we experience our interconnectedness with all things. This I have taken from one website. I think this part is clear. No need to detail further on this. Then knowledge. So para and apara vidya. All knowledge is classified into two types, higher and lower. Higher is the para vidya and lower is the apara vidya, which are knowledge of Brahm, transcendental knowledge, and empirical knowledge, respectively. So the knowledge of Brahm, right, would be the Paravidya, and the lower part would be the Aparavidya, the empirical knowledge. There is no conflict between the two. So you have to ensure both. Now these are various terminologies that have been used. Pardon? Yes. 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 And then, in fact, you will see ultimately what will human being do. Cognition or reasoning is not enough. Okay. The only thing is that the feeling part or emotion part is not covered in Bloom's taxonomy. At the most, they will go up to creation, practically apply in your outward world. Yeah. Here we are saying contemplation, realization. So there are two basically different paths, right? Pardon? Transport sheath. What is transport sheath? That is a pranamaya kosh. The coexistence of self and body. That is pranamaya kosh. Sansar. So the constant stream of births and deaths until moksha is attained is known as sansara or transmigration. The law that governs the type of birth of Jeev. The law that governs the type of birth Jeev gets every time it dies is known as the law of karma. So basically, it is said that when you take the next birth, it is dependent on your karma in this life. So this is one proposition here. Keep it open. Let us keep it open and then find out. For example, here also, this is nothing like mysterious. You see that, for example, the kind of thoughts I have, I make friend circle accordingly. Right? Maybe earlier you were too fond of shopping. You would have friends who were into shopping. Now you're not going for shopping. So what will you do with those friends? So you change your friend circle now. Yeah, yeah, this group. So it is something very common. I select people with whom I have similar thoughts. Okay, similar opinion. Yeah, sanskaras are the same. Yeah, self-realization, mysteries and sufferings of humans are due to avidya or ignorance about the true nature of reality. They can be removed only through the right knowledge, and training for the right knowledge is threefold. This is something I discussed: Shravan, Manan, and Nidhyasan. Shravan is listening, stands for the Upanishad of listening stands for the study of Upanishads under a proper guru. Personal contact with the living embodiment is of great help. So generally it is said that if you are there with a guru, the guru will be mentoring you. For example, you can read a book, but actually the meaning of whatever is written is to be explained, isn't it? So for that, a dialogue with a guru is essential, as it is said. Manan, constant contemplation upon the knowledge gained from guru to derive intellectual conviction. Nididhyasan refers to the practice of experiencing the knowledge of the truth through meditation. Through intense practice, one realizes the truth about the unity underlying the multiplicity of the universe. Something similar, right? Now we can go to the 10th darshan that we have to study, Madhyav darshan. Okay. So we'll talk about Madhyav darshan now. Hmm? क्या हुआ? Oh, this one. Madhyav darshan has been propounded by Sri A. Nagaraj, who realized Astitva is Sahastitva. Yes.
Talking about Jnana, and in the previous slide is showing about the Vijnana Kosha. What is the Jnana Vidya? And I also one more doubt. Karma and Karya. Karma and Karya.
Okay. So now Gyan can be said as the complete knowledge. Vigyan here as it is being said as Gyanmay Kosh is the intellect. So that is the intellect here, Vigyanmay Kosh, and Gyan is the complete knowledge. Now karma is all your actions. Karya is what you are doing with the rest of nature. So karma will include your thought, behavior, work and participation, all. Karya is only work. Pardon? Yeah, intention is a part of, intention only drives your action. Not the way we are placing intention there in UHV. So intention is your desire. Desire will lead to thought, thought will lead to your behavior, work and participation. No, no, no. Okay, then it is not desire, it is craving. So basically, in Gita, they are saying Nishkam Karma. So you are doing karma, but you do not have craving. That is Nishkam. You are not bounded to the outcome. You are not trying to derive happiness out of your karma. You are doing because you are able to see that this is your participation. That is Nishkam Karma. Again, I will rephrase it. Expectation would be there. So, for example, when you're talking to me, you are speaking with the expectation that I will respond. You are talking to me and I'm looking here and there. Okay, then it is not going to serve the purpose, right? So we always have that expectation, but the craving to get happiness out of your action, that becomes calm. So that craving has to be taken care of. That has to be removed. That is this removal of craving only, or cessation of craving only is being termed as niskam karma or akarta, or getting rid of, or samatva, equanimity. All those words have been used. Now, coming to Madhyav Darshan, so it has been propounded by Sri A. Nagaraj, and he recently died in 2016. He has been like in this century also. He realized Astitva as Sahastitva, Astitva is existence, Sahastitva is coexistence, and presented the content and process of study as Madhyav Darshan Sahastitvad. So as philosophy, it is Madhyav Darshan, but as it goes at the level of thought, it is called as Sahastitvad. Sahastitva is again coexistentialism. With a view to help the humankind in its awakening, the salient features of the darshan are the way to ensure well-being of oneself. So goals of the self are Sukh, Shanti, Santosh and Anand. So it places how the transformation takes place and what is the outcome within the self. And well-being of all, which are the human goals, Samadhan, Samriddhi, Abhay and Sahastitva. So they are the human target or human goals, Mano Lakshya. Samadhan is resolution, getting the all-encompassing solution, right? Based on right understanding. Samriddhi is prosperity, Abhay is fearlessness, and Sahastitva is coexistence. Possibility to fulfill the social responsibilities while fulfilling the responsibility in the family as a family member. So with this proposition, this thing has been stressed that you need to be in the family and fulfill the responsibilities of the family. Right? Now, being in the family, you have to ensure prosperity in the family. You have to do production, right? You have to fulfill your obligations in the family. You have to go for procreation, and all these things come as a natural outcome of Gyan, Samadhan. The expression of darshan is contemporary. Now you can see the way the things have been presented. So looking at the current scenario, so you will see that all these 6 darshans came earlier when there was kingship. This darshan came when there is democracy. So those things also influence your like proposal for living, how you are going to live accordingly. So it is quite contemporary, based on the situation that we have today. Possibility to live synergetically in all the 4 dimensions. And what are the 4 dimensions here? Anubhav, Vichar, Vyahar, and Vyasay. So Anubhav is realization, that is block B1. Vichar is block B2. Vyahar is behavior. And Vyasay, your profession. And all the 5 states, individual, family, society, nation, and world. So that is called as Vyakti, Parivar, Samaj, Rashtra, and Antarashtra. Okay, of a human being. One can make efforts on knowledge and resolution in the self while fulfilling the relationships. So this has come out that even while you are there in a family, fulfilling all your relationships, still you can ensure knowledge and resolution in the self. In fact, you can do it better, being in the family and fulfilling your relationships, because that you have constant evaluation taking place within the self, whether you are having the right feeling for the other or not. It includes description of an undivided society and universal human order, investor order. So, Akhand Samaj and Sarvabhaum Vyavastha came out as the outcome of your attaining the Samadhan based on Gyan. Clarity of human education, human conduct, human constitution, and human order. So, Manvi Shiksha, Manvi Acharan, Manvi Samvidhan, and Manvi Sabhyata. Manvi Vyavastha, how it can come out of all this has been proposed. Realistic view means pure observation or understanding. The word madhyast means stated at the center, free of any biasness, free of any excesses or diversion or impurities. Okay, so no excesses. So it gives you the clear model of how you can live at all 4 levels of your living, right? The sense of calling its darshan as madhyav darshan is that this description of realities as philosophy is free of any kind of excesses or diversion or impurities. The base of this whole discussion is existence, and human forms its center. So since the human being has to understand and human has to live, so that forms the center. Human only has the inquisitiveness and need to understand the existence, which is possible through self-study. Hence, the realities which need to be studied for a human to live with fulfillment, to live with harmony and order at the level of family society, have only been detailed here. So the core concept is received, the existence is ever present in the form of Prakriti submerged in Satta, Sahastitva. So Sat Prakriti, that is nature, submerged is Samprit in Satta, that is, you can all pervading Satta. There are 4 orders in the nature, Padarth, Pran, Jeev and Jnanavastha. Padarth is the physical order, Pran is the bio order, Jiva is the animal order, and Jnana Avastha is the human order. In the knowledge order or the Jnana Avastha are included all human beings. Human being is coexistence of Jivan and Sharir. So here a new word has been coined. So far, we are talking about Purush or Jiv, right? Or various sheath, various kosh. A new word has been coined, that is Jivan, right? So what is Jivan? It is the consciousness, and Sharir is the material. Body is a composition of Pranavastha only. So Jivan is one Gathan Purn Parmanu, a constitutionally complete atom. So the Jivan has been placed in an atom, which is constitutionally complete. And constitutionally complete means that its constitution will never change, right? It is going to be integrated as a unit. Self atom, the Gathan Purn Parmanu, has nucleus and 4 orbits, first, second, third, and fourth. So the nucleus is the Atma. One subatomic particle is here. First orbit is 2 subatomic particles, Buddhi. Second orbit is having 8 subatomic particles, Chit. Third orbit had 18 subatomic particles, they are Vritti. And the fourth orbit has 32 subatomic particles, they are Man. Yeah, yes. So as you see, the constitution of a physical atom, in a similar way, the conscious atom is there, right? So one proposition here is that this material atom transforms to the consciousness atom. Now, how is it visible, these numbers? So here you can see, like here we have Atma. Now, Atma is here at level 1. Buddhi is here at 2. Chit is here at 3. Vritti at 4. And Man as 5. So these are the 4 bal. Man, Vritti, Chit, Buddhi, Atma are the 5 bal in the self. And these are the powers. Asha, Vichar, Ichha, Ritambhra is one word that is used, and Pramadikta is another word that is used in Hindi. So they are the powers. Now, how do these numbers reflect? So they reflect as conduct. Now, if you look at it, for example, now at the level of expectation, here we have Man. So Man is having 32 subatomic particles. Now, every subatomic particle is having state and motion. So this will reflect as 64 conduct, 64 acharan. Are you able to get this? Now, for example, let me explain how. So, for example, I am tasting from the tongue. So, I'm getting some taste from the food. Now, there are 6 kinds of taste, right? When you study, there are 6 kinds of taste. Now, what we are doing in structuralism also, we are trying to make structures for various sensation. What kinds of taste? Now, sound, if you hear, there would be 2 kinds of sound. Okay, sight, if I see, there would be 2 kinds of sight. Now, they will all make the conduct at the level of Man here. So here there are 32 subatomic particles. Every subatomic particle is having state and motion. So that makes it 64 conduct, 64 types of conduct. And that can be seen here at the level of expectation, 64 kinds of conduct. So if you study, there are altogether 122 kinds of conduct. 122. So this makes 61. 32 plus 18, 50 plus 8, 58 plus 2, 60 plus 1, 61. Now every conduct has state and motion, right? So that makes it 122. So the whole conduct of a human being can be articulated in terms of 122 kinds of conduct. Now if you read Buddha, Buddha has articulated 121 kinds of conduct. So, right, people have attempted to see in the tradition also, and this becomes very clear when we see here. So here we are getting 6 kinds of taste from the tongue, 2 kinds of, and all that. Now the feeling also. Now if you look at the feeling, so when we are saying trust, so trust gets contemplated within, then it reflects as complementariness. Respect gets contemplated within, It reflects as transparency. Affection gets contemplated within. It reflects as commitment. So every feeling is there with one established value and one expressed value. So all those are articulated here, and then you can see how these 122 kinds of conduct will be visible in the self. Fine. Yeah. So here also you can see that here we have bodh and sankalp. Okay. So you can read the whole chart there. So these are two, and then with them will come two more. So there is something called dhi, dhi, dhi. Yeah. Yeah. And there is another. Yeah. So all those 22 can be listed. Now, one thing that came out from here, that constitutionally complete atom evolves from the constitutionally incomplete atom, that is the material atom. So the material atom is called as Gathanshil Parmanu. The self atom is called as Gathanpurn Parmanu. So the first transformation that is taking place is from Gathanshil to Gathanpurn. Now this Gathanpurn has to become Kriyapurn by awakening. So that all the activities get awakened. That becomes Kriyapurn. And then it has to become Acharanpurn. Acharanpurn means conduct completeness. So first transformation is taking place from constitutionally incomplete to complete. This is one transformation. From constitutionally complete to activity complete. That is, all the activities get awakened. That is the second transformation. From activity completeness to conduct completeness, I start living and participate in universal order. That is the third transformation that is taking place. All the subatomic particles are similar and participate differently depending on their state. So Atma has the activities of Anubhav and Praman. Buddhi have the activities of Bodh and Sankalp. Chitta have the activities of Chintan and Chitran. Activities of Vritti have been identified as Tulan and Vishlesan. Now here Vritti word is used in a different sense than Yog Darshan. There Vritti was the fluctuations in the self, in the Chitta. Here it is different. Here it is one dimension of the self. The activities of Man have been identified as Aswadan and Chan. Human is able to attain the state of perfect ease, that is Vishram. So the final state is Vishram or fulfillment with disillusionment only. Disillusionment, that is Nirbhramta, is indeed for resolution. The activity of disillusionment takes place in the Jivan itself, as the understanding takes place in the Jivan only. Disillusionment at the level of Atma is to see the whole existence as coexistence, to see the whole nature submerged in space. So realization of coexistence takes place in the Atma. We can go for further detail, but anyone who would like to understand it deeper can read the textbook and understand. So the core concept, if you see, so Satta and Prakriti are two types of reality. So here a new word has been used, Satta, right? So earlier we were having like Brahm or this Purush or something or Shunya, right? Here we are using the word Satta. Satta is the all-pervading, right? And Prakriti, collection of units, are two kinds of reality. Sampriktata, submergence, give the interconnectedness between of these two. So the Prakriti is samprikt in Satta. So if you look at finally what comes to your Anubhav, realization is Satta mein samprikt Prakriti. Right? Satta, the all pervading is there, the nature is there, and the nature is samprikt in Satta. Satta and Prakriti are inseparably connected, and Satta is exterior to the unit, interior to the unit, and on the boundary of every unit. So this reality can be expressed as Prakriti being immersed, that is Duba, bounded, that is Ghira, and pervaded, that is Bhiga in Satta. So the way units are, if you see, so for example, you have, let's say, water, a trough of water, and you take a cotton, you immerse the cotton in the water. So the water is all around the cotton, the water inside the cotton, and if the water is everywhere, it can never come out of the cotton. Similarly, in the same way, the unit is Duba, Bhiga, and Ghira in the space, Satta, right? This being pervaded, bounded, and immersed has been termed as submergence. That is, Prakriti is Samprit in Satta. Being pervaded means that the units of nature are active and energized, being in Satta. Bounded means that the units are self-organized, self-regulated, and being immersed means that the units recognize the relationship and fulfill other units, fulfill the relation with other units, and being in Satta. Space that is Satta has been recognized as equilibrium energy, Samya Urja. The Samya Urja means that the energy is naturally available to all units. For the essential activity of any unit, there is no dearth of this energy, and for this, no unit is dependent on any other unit. So Satta is available to every unit, right? Every unit is there, Samprikt in Satta, and the energy is available to every unit, the equilibrium energy. Now, if you look at the psychology, so the human psyche, consciousness, in Madhya Darshan, okay, any questions so far? it is only forenoon, we have afternoon also.
Hello. Yeah, do you heard about the Brahma Kumarigal, Raja Yoga Brahma Kumarigal? What is opinion about regarding that?
So, like post lunch, we are going to have an exercise where you can study all the darshans and the practices and try to bring out the psychology there.
No, it is not psychology. Brahma Kumarigal concept and this UHV concept, like how it is
So I have
correlated.
not exactly studied the concepts, but we can again like study it and take as a proposal. Only thing as we have to make sure that it is universal, rational, verifiable. So in place of assuming something as true, we'll try to verify it. If something is being said which you cannot verify,
Actually, the Brahma Kumarikals, they also say it is soul, it is existing. Body, it is as we are saying material only. So the soul, they say there are 5,000 years of world which is running, and each Janma will be coming, and as whatever role we are taking, we'll be playing it, and the end of the thing will become very pure, and again we'll go. And since the Yuga is been divided into Kali Yuga and there are Dwara Yuga, in the Yuga it is coming. So again, the world is going to routine. It is a
yeah, but
concept
how
of,
do you verify that?
and they say like as you said here, Shri Nagaraj sir is there. They also they have DD persons are there whom it is bodies coming. They have we have supreme power is there. Above all, one power is there. It is not dividing into naming it the names gods and all. They say there are supreme power one is there, from where we are getting all the energy and we are doing it, and the soul is being controlled over there. And they do meditation in the early morning, getting up and doing that, and they get the purity. So each stage, like one Janma, they will be completing it and they'll be going to other things. Routinely, it happens as such. They say those who are going to attend, they will have 7 days, 1 week class they will have. If they attend that 1 week class, again the soul get pure and they will be started to follow the disciplines.
Yeah, so see, there are many practices, right? This is one of them. So we can go through it. We can go through it and experience. See, the point is, whatever you are getting here, take it as a proposal, you know, and then test on those grounds whether something is being asked to assume as true or you can verify. If you can't verify, or if the rationality is not there, right? So, for example, if somebody is saying something to me, I'll say, "How do you say that?" Right? If that question is answered, I can proceed. If I'm not getting the answer, then I will look for some other answer. So all of us have to take, see, when it is going to education, so people have been able to see all this, right? Realize this, and they have proposed. Now we ourselves have to observe, proposal, verify, live accordingly, validate, so that becomes a part of my living. So if you take this stand, then everything can be studied as a proposal. Okay, in place of sticking to something, we can take it openly and keep it open for observation or discussion. If something is appearing as, let's say, irrational, then we can accept that yes, this is irrational. Something is appearing as invalid, it is invalid, fine. Okay, so like here you will say that the self has been explained as constitutionally complete atom, that is Gathanpurn Parmanu. The space has been explained as Satta, right? As Shunya, as Sami Urja, as Nirpeksh Urja, right? And then the nature being in space is called as Sampriktata, submerged. That is something that we can very much see, right? And based on this, you have conduct in terms of Mulya, Niti, and Charitra, the values, the policy, and the character. So, how do you live? Yeah, Mulya is the value. Policy, yeah, yeah. So, one by see, in fact, we are doing a crash course. Yeah, I have grown old doing all this. Yes. So, in fact, we are taking so much, like last time also we did psychology, the Western schools, and then you got 1 month of time to study. Here for all these schools, you have enough of time to study and then contemplate on that and then take out the essence from there. So, Mulya is my participation. Value is something that I get resolved within at the level of thought. And character is the way I live, right, in the society. That is my character. So, the human conduct is expressed in that form. Now, if you look at the human psyche, as it has been explained, so in Madhya Darshan, the human being is composed of body plus Jivan. Jivan is the conscious entity. Jivan is the conscious part. It is an indivisible atom coexisting with the material body. Sorry, indivisible atom coexisting with the human body. That is the material body. Functions of Jivan. So, Ichha, Vichar, Asha, collectively forming the base of human experience. And finally, Bodh and Anubhav. Determinant of conduct of human being. Conduct is determined by the state of understanding in the self. So, right understanding leading to right feeling, leading to right thought, leading to human conduct. Without right understanding, conduct is guided by preconditionings like beliefs, traditions, and sensory attraction, leading to conflict. Thus, inner clarity and correct knowledge, rather than fear, rituals, or blind faith, shape true human behavior. It can be rephrased in multiple ways. Okay, there is a whole philosophy there. Yeah, sanskar is there. Yeah, sanskar is there. So this samadhan, inner clarity and correct knowledge, rather than bhaya, pralobhan, astha. So the full potential of the human psyche, samadhan, samriddhi, abhay, and sahastitva. So the highest potential is to live with samadhan, samriddhi, abhay, and sahastitva. So it is living, right? We are not talking about renunciation here. Nothing. We are not talking about liberation here, right? It is about living with samadhan, samriddhi, abhay, and sahastitva. So this is the proposal that is coming out as full human potential. Prominent problems associated with an undeveloped human psyche. So inhuman characteristics, dinta, hinta, krurta. So one is not having resolution, so din, right? One is like going by beguiling, then that is hinta, and going for cruelty, that is krurta. Inhuman perspectives, so priyahit love. So at the level of at vritti, one will have the perspectives of priyahit and love. Inhuman concerns, so ahar, nidra, bhay, and mathun. Ahar is food, nidra is sleep, bhay is fear, and mathun is mating. Now you can look at these observable in the animals. So animals are living by ahar, nidra, bhayan method. Human can also start from there, but finally it has to uplift oneself. Process of developing the human psyche. So resolution, aligning desire, thought, and expectation with the universal order through realization of submergence. And the program that comes out is called as Jivan Vidya, right? Expression or proof of a developed human psyche. So what would be the Manviya Swabhav? Manvi Swabhav is Dhirta, Virta, Udarta. So moving from Dinta, Hinta, Krurta to Dhirta, Virta, and Udarta. Yeah. So Dhirta is perseverance. Like it is coming to you the same way as Tamil comes to me. Yeah. So Dhirta is perseverance, Virta is bravery, Udarta is generosity. Generosity. So Dhirta essentially means that when I am able to see the reality, I am able to validate it in my living. So I never get anxious. I never get unhappy. Every time I have the right program to make. Virta means it's not only that I am comfortable within. I am also ready to make anyone happy, right? By investing myself. So I am investing myself. That is Virta. So Virta essentially is to work for human order, right? Going above one's personal pursuits to uh, ensure harmony in the whole world. That is Virta. And Udarta, that is generosity, is investing one's mind, body, and wealth to fulfill others, to work for humane society. That is Udarta, right? Dhirta. Dhirta is perseverance. I'm able to see that yes, I'm resolved. Whatever be the condition outside, I'm not reactive. I'm able to see the solution. I'm able to complement others. That is Dhirta. Udarta is I'm ready to invest my mind, body, and wealth. Tan, man, and dhan. So the readiness. So that is the test of your understanding. Now one was asking the how do I come to know that the other has got understanding or not. So one can see the characteristics there, right? So one can see if the other is trying to invest oneself. Then human perspectives in place of priyahit and love, that is taste, health, and profit. My perspectives are justice, order, and truth. Nyaya, dharma, and satya. So yes, yes, yeah, nyayam, dharmam, satyam. In fact, all these things you'll find in Sanskrit also. We were conducting one workshop at Triple IT Hyderabad, and it was felt that the students are not able to understand neither Hindi nor English. So then one faculty opted to say that okay, I'll conduct in Telugu and explain the same words. So Vishwas is Vishwasam, Samman is Sammanam, okay, Sneh is Sneham. Except for a few words, the technical words are coming alike. So that we can relate. Now, human concerns, Yeshna. So human concern for wealth, progeny, and fame. Vitteshna, Putteshna, and Lokeshna. Now, what is this meaning? So, for example, when I am realized, I am able to see, right? I am enlightened. Then I will ensure that the wealth is invested. Yeah. No, no. Wealth is physical wealth. So I'll acquire physical wealth and ensure the fulfillment of physical wealth for the well-being of all. That is Vitteshna. Putreshna means I'll make people join in this program. That is Vitteshna. Yeah. So if you look at it, so kindness, benevolence, and है ना, compassion are three traits or three characteristics again. Okay, here I'll explain that. Let me explain this. Viteshna, Puteshna, and Lokeshna. So Viteshna is I utilize the wealth for the well-being of all. Putreshna means wrongly it is Putreshna, it should be P-U-T-R-E. Putreshna means I make people join for the right cause, for universal order. And Lokeshna means I establish fame for the right, so that everybody naturally accepts it. That is Lokeshna. Lokeshna is not for my fame. No, Lokeshna is for establishing the fame for the knowledge, for the right living.
Bhaiya, in the inhuman concerns, food, sleep.
Yeah.
That is important, no?
Yeah, that is
Essential for
important.
everyone.
But this is not my focus of living. So presently, human being is only concerned about all this: ahar, nitra, bhayan, methun, food, sleep, fear, and mating. So if you look at the common human being, they are engrossed only in this much. Let me have enough food. Let me have this sleep. Let me protect myself from fear and mating for progeny or sensual pleasure. People are generally engrossed there. From there, one has to uplift oneself for these higher goals. So the food would be there. We are going to have lunch anyway, right? So even after enlightenment or realization, we'll have food, we'll sleep, but we'll not have fear, right? And the mating would be for continuity of human generation. Now, if you look at the human concerns, so concern for wealth, progeny, and fame, so that I explained. Now, superhuman characteristics. One has who has attained conduct completeness. So, Daya, Kripa, Karuna, they are also, Karuna would be the center. So, Daya means that the other person has need for something, right? And the object is not available. So, I make the object available. That is Daya. That is kindness. The object is available, but the other is not able to perceive the need. For example, a very crude example, somebody is hungry and you are offering food. That is kindness, right? Now somebody is sick. He has the medicine, but he is not ready to take the medicine. Then explain to the other that this medicine will cure you. That is benevolence. And karuna, compassion is to make the physical facility as well as the understanding available is compassion. Isn't it? So there are two things, vastu and patrata. Patrata means receptivity. So the object is available, receptivity is not there, right? Object is not available, receptivity is there, and both are not available. Still trying to fulfill that. So if you look at education, education is a task of compassion. Now, if you are asking the child to study, maybe the syllabus is not there in the course. You bring the syllabus, you make the management understand, you make the students understand. They are not ready to receive, but ultimately they fulfilled that. Okay, yes, you have done the right thing to me. Today they may be complaining. Today they may feel it as a load, but tomorrow when it ensures a happy life for them, fulfilling life for them, they feel grateful. So compassion is such a thing that even if the other is not able to see the need and the object is not available, we develop the need also, and we make the object also available so that the other is able to lead a fulfilling life. That is compassion. The superhuman perspective would be satya, truth centric. So ultimately, submergence, I am able to see things at the level of submergence. And superhuman concern, that would be coexistence as supreme truth, sastitva as the supreme truth, right? Yeah, basically, in Madhyav Darshan, the Manav has been classified in various categories. So the worst will be the Rakshas Manav, demon man, killing others, exploiting others, very cruel, right? Then Pashumana, animal man, better than that, not exploiting other, but living like an animal in Ahar, Nidra, Bhayan, Method, caught up in that. Then Manav, okay, who is able to live with human conduct. Then Dev Manav, okay, godly human being. And then Divya Manav, divine human being. So that divine, Divya Manav, is the ultimate. So each one of us has the potential to become that divine, Divya Manav. Yes. Yeah. If you talk so much in English, in Tamil, I will talk in Hindi then, like this. Nice. So this is the expression of a developed human psyche. Yeah. So we can take first reflection and then we can go to summarize. Fine. Any reflection? Reflection. Fine.
It might be yeah, voice might like see, like we have, like you have given lot of information to us, and I think my thought is like we need some time to explore on
Yes, yes.
ourselves.
Of course.
Then
Of course.
only like myself can be able to reflect on it.
Take full lifetime. Nothing like
Yes.
that.
Yes.
And you have more than one life.
Yeah, that should be a continuous activity, right?
Yes.
So till
So
the
long as
last
you
level.
come to the state of realization
Yeah, yes.
and see the existence is forever. So no hurry.
Yes.
Pardon? Yes, yes. See, in fact, we're talking about that, karma or something, no? Essentially, we all have to reach that divine state. Before that, we're not going to be at peace. So we all are somehow, embedded in that existence such a way that we have to reach that divine state. It's only that we have to make a choice in this life. The sooner you make a choice, the faster you develop. If you don't make a choice now, you will have to make a choice 10 years hence, 20 years hence. Or when you are going to leave the body, you say that, okay, this lifetime I did not do the right thing, next lifetime.
Bhaiya, I am ready to find my higher potential, Bhaiya. And also I have listed out what are the things to be blocking me to reach that higher potential. I have listed out through with right understanding. I list my list made I made it a small also with right understanding. Then what are the basic key factors you can tell by overcome those aspect minimum we can reach the right path. One question, Bhaiya. And then then, it is from our own self or maximum which is blocking me to attain that higher potential. It is maximum from my own self or the influence of others also will be there, like family, from society or workplace. They are also playing a major role, or by correcting from my own self itself I could make me yeah, to find the path. It may take time for the liberation or to find my higher potential. What are the three or any factors that I should work on it so that I can at least go in that path towards
Yeah. So as you were mentioning in the beginning, to put it very brief, self-exploration, self-awareness, self-evaluation. Okay. Now
Okay.
going by different darshan also we get the proposal.
Mm.
If you go by Bodh darshan,
Yes.
they are saying that make your chitta, get rid of sanskaras. And for that you can do meditation and all,
Meditation.
and
Yes. By
those many things can be done.
exploration, meditation.
If you go by Jain darshan, then they are saying that you have to reach that Keval Gyan state, and
Okay.
for that you have to practice. If you go by Sankhya and Yog darshan, then they are saying that you have to reach the state of Kaivalya.
Okay.
Okay, and for that the process is there. The Ashtangic mark by Patanjali is there, right? And briefly put together, they are saying that go for Abhyas and Vairagya.
Okay.
Practice the right, leave the wrong. Abhyas and Vairagya. So similarly, if you look at the essence, you have to verify within and live accordingly. If you don't live accordingly, the right understanding is not going to be ensured. If you don't verify, then also it is not going to be ensured. So these are two basic requirements. And to live accordingly, I have to be in the family, I have to work for fulfillment needs of the physical facility, I have to interact with the rest of nature, I have to play my participation in the society, isn't it? Nice. It is complete now. Its verification has got complete. Now there you are as divine, as complete, right? And there you continuing with like that.
Bhaiya, I would like to have a clarification. When you were
Yes.
talking about the 5 layers, right from Annamaya layer to
Yes.
Anandamaya layer, and you referred like, one layer should be at the center. One layer should be at the center. And you decide like which layer you want to keep it at the center. And also you mentioned like all our behavior and conduct is based on the course that we decide.
Yeah.
So could you please tell me like, which one you have prioritized or which one you have kept it at the center for yourself?
So I have the desire to put Anandmay Kosh,
Okay.
but somewhere I may be in any of these. So the effort is, for example, when I'm participating. So the purpose is to help myself attain realization, isn't it? So for that I'm participating. When I'm there with myself, I'm trying to contemplate, understand, right? So within me, I'm trying to verify and also participate in education. So that is the program that I'm making for myself. But I can see the fluctuations in me. There will be moments when I can be more at peace with me and in a very resolved state.
Now, will it not be like towards the journey of enlightening others? I want to acquire some information and then I have to go for it. So, will it not be like, intellect?
So basically, the understanding and participation goes together.
Okay.
So when I'm explaining to you, I'm going to the meaning more. If you ask me questions, I inquire into myself more, deeper and further. So it goes together. So if you start conducting a workshop, for example, if you have to teach a course, right, then you understand the subject better. There is a story about a maths teacher, no, that a maths teacher was solving one numerical on the board. Then one student said that, sir, not clear to me. You kindly explain it once more. So the teacher went and solved the question again. The student said that again it is not clear to me. The teacher went and solved again. When the student said, sir, again it is not clear to me, then the teacher said, now it has become clear to me also. So it should be clear to you also. So in a similar manner, when you are explaining, we are also understanding, isn't it? Yeah. Now let us summarize all that we have discussed on those 6 pointers. So if you look at Sankhya Darshan, there was dualism. Purush is there and Purush is separate from Prakriti. Okay. Let me say that the content that is given here is based on the material that we have collected so far. It can get further refined, right? And a lot of it has come from this chat GPT, and we are still in the process of refining. by referring to the basic text. So that would be under development. So Sankhya says dualism. Purush is separate from Prakriti. But since these darshans have been there for a long time, so going to the references also, we find that there is not much error. Only that something is highlighted in some way, something is highlighted some other way. But there is no error as such. If you look at Yog Darshan, it is similar to Sankhya. Consciousness, Purush is eternal. Mental fluctuations are to be stilled. So mental fluctuations are the vrittis. So he says that the chitta has to be free of the vrittis. Nyaya says Atma is a conscious substance with cognition as its quality. So he lays more emphasis on logic, cognition. Vaisheshik is saying recognizes Atma but focuses on it as substance with qualities of consciousness. So it is one of the substances. Purvamimamsa accepts Atma as the doer or enjoyer but emphasizes ritual-based continuity. Uttarmimamsa Vedanta, Brahm or Atma is the ultimate reality. Now we can see that there are three schools in Vedanta, that is Uttarmimamsa. Individual consciousness is identical or connected with it depending on the school. Charvak denies independent soul or consciousness, considers mind as a product of matter. Bodh Darshan, if you see, so no permanent self, anatta, consciousness is a stream of momentary experiences. So in Bodh Darshan, they are denying that soul is not there. There is nothing like Atma. Jain Darshan, Jeev, soul is eternal and conscious and separate from Ajeev, that is matter. Madhyav Darshan, Jivan is an eternal conscious entity coexisting with material body, distinct but in harmony. So Jivan and Sharir being said here. Now, if you look at the determinant of conduct of a human being in Sankhya Darshan, bondage due to ignorance of Purush Prakriti distinction. Okay, so is bondage there. Yoga Darshan, conduct shaped by mental modifications and kleshas. So five kleshas we studied, afflictions. Nyaya, right knowledge through valid means, pramanas, determines conduct. Vaisheshik, ethical conduct via understanding categories and dharma. Purvamimamsa, Vedic injunctions and rituals guide conduct. Uttarmimamsa, realization of self as Brahma leads to liberation-oriented conduct. Charvak, sensory pleasure and pragmatism guide actions. Bodh, desire, attachment and ignorance determine actions, and there is a dependent origination. So how sanskaras are formed and how that determines your conduct. Jain, karma and vows, non-violence, truth, etc. The Triratna shape conduct. Madhyasth, state of right understanding within the self leads to humane, mutually fulfilling conduct. Again, the full potential in Sankhya it is Kaivalya, liberation, isolation of Purush and Prakriti. So I am able to see the Purush different from Prakriti, that becomes Kaivalya. Yoga, liberation again Kaivalya through cessation of mental fluctuations. Nyaya, here liberation is called as Apvarga, cessation of pain through via knowledge, pain via true knowledge. Vaisheshik, again liberation as the absence of pain and rebirth. Purvamimamsa, material prosperity and continuation of ritual life. Uttarmimamsa, moksha, unity with Brahma, non-dual schools or proximity to Brahma, dualistic schools. Charvak, maximum sensory enjoyment in one lifetime. Buddha calling it as nirvana, cessation of suffering and rebirth. Jain Darshan, liberation by shedding karma and freeing the soul, that is Keval Gyan. Madhyav Darshan, harmony in living, Samadhan, Samriddhi, Abhay and Sahastitva. Fine. And they are at the level of realization. So Manav, Dev Manav, Divya Manav. That is the full potential of human being as Divya Manav. Now prominent problems as you see, so Sankhya Darshan, ignorance of the real nature of Purush and Prakriti. Yog, mental distractions, which are the kleshas and ignorance, avidya. Nyaya, false knowledge and logical errors. Vaisheshik, misunderstanding of reality and its categories. Purmimansa, neglecting rituals or misunderstanding dharma. Uttar Mimamsa, that is Vedant, ignorance, avidya of true self. Charvak, suffering due to overindulgence and material limitations. Bodh, craving, tanha. Tanha is Trishna. Ignorance, impermanence, misperceived as permanence. So looking at impermanent as permanent is the basic cause of suffering. Jan, bondage due to karma accumulation and passions. Madhyav Darshan, in brief, you can call it amanviyata. Okay. You can call it amanviyata. Dinta, hinta, krurta, all those characteristics are amanviyata. Process of developing the human psyche in Sankhya Darshan, discriminative knowledge, vivek, between Purush and Prakriti. Yog Darshan, we have the eightfold path, yam, niyam, asan, pranayam, pratyahar, dharana, dhyan, samadhi. To still the mind. Nyaya, logical reasoning, debate and inference, anuman and pratyaksh. Vaisheshik, knowledge of categories and their relations. Purmimansa, performance of rituals as prescribed in the Vedas. Uttarmimansa, Jnana Yoga or Bhakti Yoga. Charvak, empirical observation and hedonistic enjoyment. Bodh Darshan, noble eightfold path, mindfulness, meditation. Jain, austerities, woes and non-violence. Madhya Darshan, Jivan Vidya. This is the program. Then expression or proof of a developed human psyche. Sankhya Darshan says isolation of Purush, freedom from rebirth. So that is Kaivalya. Yog, state of Samadhi and Kaivalya. Nyaya, liberation marked by cessation of suffering. Vaisheshik, freedom from bondage and realization of truth. That is the same as Apvarg. Purmimansa, successful ritual life with prosperity. Uttar Mimamsa, liberation, bliss, and unity with Brahm. So they are moksha as well as permanent. In one tradition it is moksha, in the other tradition it is permanent, right? Charvak, momentary satisfaction and fulfillment of desires. Bodh, nirvana, cessation of craving and suffering. Jain, keval gyan, omniscience and ultimate liberation. Madhyav Darshan, definite human conduct, right? So Manviyata, Dev Manviyata, Divya Manviyata. That is all. So before lunch, we have finished just on time. Yes. So either we can discuss or we can again do exercise one. Take a mic. Yes.
By okay.
Yeah, probably as a first step, we have to start looking at all of them and come to an understanding and then move forward. Or is it that straight away we can start thinking about what it is for us to be at different levels?
Thinking about what?
Different darshans we have seen, like what they talk about body, self, and all that. So, is it or would it be advisable to look at all of them, come to an understanding, and then make a program for ourselves as to how we are going to move forward?
Yes.
Or can we, with whatever understanding we have, would it be okay to start?
Yeah. So let me say that this is UHV VI. You are already into that process self-exploration. You have started, isn't it? You are trying to understand and live accordingly. Now, while doing that, you are already exposed to so many things which are other than UHV. So, for example, you might have been studying or teaching humanities. You might have been studying computer science or other course of engineering. So we are exposed to multiple other things also. So it is very important to see. It is very important to see how this particular content that we're discussing in UHV can guide other subjects also. So the purpose of developing human psychology or human sociology or human economics is that how other humanities courses also can be integrated or can be value based, right? Since we are already teaching that, so we have to work for value based education. So this is one part. So not only taking it as a separate course of value education, but making all the components of education value based. In fact, we need to develop courses on value based management, isn't it? Value based laws, value based engineering, value based pharmacy, all that has to be done. So for example, in AK Garg College, they are in Ghaziabad. Gopal Babu is trying to have computer science courses based, no, value based computer science courses. So for example, if one is coding, if one is making some codes, then can we have projects which are value based? So let's say I have to articulate the need for physical facility. I can make a code for that. So in place of making codes here and there, we can make codes which are actually relevant to the human being, right? We can make codes for impact study. Like in computer science, we are making various programs for user interface and user experience. We can actually talk about user experience in terms of happiness, prosperity, well-being, isn't it? We can do that. So this is just an effort towards that. Now, third thing is that, like, while you are studying UHV, you are exposed to certain other things. Somebody might have been practicing some meditation technique. Somebody is worshipping, performing some rituals. Somebody might have some belief system coming from whatever lineage you have come, right? Someone might be coming from Shaiva Parampara, Vaishnava Parampara, Shakt Parampara. Someone is from Christianity, someone is from Islam, Jain Parampara, Bodh Parampara. So how this understanding may enable you to understand your parampara also better, that tradition also better, so that you can rightly place it in your life. Otherwise, no, our life is compartmentalized. When we are doing UHV, we are focusing here. But when you go back, we are doing so many other things which may not fall in line with this. And we get distracted here or there. So everything can fall in line, right? So that is the third thing. Like we had so many questions, like we might be believing that karma plays its role. Now, what is this karma? That is not getting answered. There could be so many other things like spirits, bhoot, pret, and all. We might be thinking about all these things, right? Devi, Devta, origin of earth, finally that culmination of this whole existence, what is going to happen? We might have so many questions. We need to have responses to all that. In that process, we can get exposed to all that has been attempted in the tradition. We did not talk about the original philosophies in the West, like Socrates, Plato, Aristotle, what they have tried to see and say. Okay, that can also be discussed sometime. Maybe when we are discussing human psychology, sociology, we can discuss about all that. They have also tried to look at human being and try to define the conduct of a human being in their own way, right? So gradually it has to percolate into all dimensions of our life.
Raya, definite human conduct. Can you just give me the essence of it? Can you just tell me, like, definite human conduct, how they have to conduct themselves? Is it like larger participation, harmony at all levels,
Yeah.
or elevating others to the next level?
So it can be looked at in multiple ways. So one way of definite human conduct would be something that is written here. When I work for realization, I also participate in the larger order. So to what extent I'm able to awaken my higher level activities, and to what level I'm able to participate in harmony outside.
That talks about the definite human conduct.
Yes. So that would be one formulation for definite human conduct. The second could be in terms of values, policy, and character. What values I'm able to live up to, what policies I make within me for myself, for the society around, and how my character is in terms of living.
There comes the kosha.
Kosha is there, of
yeah,
course.
that's what I say. I take this kosha also, 5 layers, out of which maybe I prioritize one that reflects my behavior and conduct. And now with that, I go for this realization, I would say. This might talk about the definite human conduct.
Yeah, so we can have some formulation based on UHV that we are discussing, some formulation based on Vedant, some formulation based on, so we can see the expression of human conduct. Now every darshan will have some formulation for human conduct. So we can go by this. Now there is one formulation called Earth, Kam, Dharma and Moksha, or let's say Dharma, Earth, Kam and Moksha. That is also a valid proposal. So I have to live up to Dharma. I have to ensure the fulfillment need for physical facility. I have to work for undivided society, and I have to work for coexistence, liberation of all, moksha. Right? That could be another formulation. So going by every philosophy, we will get some formulation. Now, if you look at Buddhism, it is Shil, Samadhi, Pragya. You can go for that. If you look at the Samyak Eightfold Path, that we can look at whether I am fulfilling that. If you look at Jain Darshan, then there are three Ratnas that we can fulfill.
But certainly, whatever we learn here, the philosophies, whatever we get introduced to, this is going to intervene with the parampara what we have come with.
With the parampara.
Yeah, that's the culture, the
Yes,
whatever.
yes.
Yeah, so
And that is for good.
we can't completely empty that. We can't completely remove all the thing whatever we have been introduced to. But we can, yeah, we can align it with the understanding what we have.
And your approach will differ now. For example,
exactly.
you are going to a temple.
Yeah,
okay?
I could feel that.
And you are bowing in front of some deity. And earlier, for example, the thought might be, please do put something for me. Now the thought could be, I want to be like you.
I want to be like you.
Yes. So you were earlier maybe worshipping Ram and placing him as something and a special, right? And trying to get some help from Ram, for example. Now you may have the desire to become Ram. I want to be the same way as you are, fulfilling all my relationships in such a harmony.
People think like that. When you no, I don't think so. Like when I go and stand before the God, do I pray like like I want to be like you? No, I feel like everyone should be happy.
Yeah,
everyone
how?
should be happy.
How?
No, I couldn't. No.
Pardon?
No, Didi, it is not that whether we are doing it. He says that we will go to that state.
Yeah, so presently, whether we are treating them as someone special or someone excellent. If I treat as someone special, I will never like to be like, I will never plan to be like that. But if I treat the other as excellent, I can see the same potential in me. So you have the potential to become Ram. You may have the potential to become an excellent human being. Okay. And then you can rightly evaluate also the conduct of Ram.
We read the epics, we read the scriptures to imbibe certain qualities what they possess. But we can't have the enormous powers that they have. If
now, when you say enormous powers,
no,
it means you are treating them as somewhat special.
That's what.
So are they the same self or different self?
God.
Yeah, what is God?
Supreme power. I feel like there is a kind of a power in this world, cosmic power. I give some form to it.
Yeah, that is something to be understood.
Yeah. Sorry, that's what I said. My parampara, it gets intervened.
Yeah, that is what. So currently we are having, with whatever we have learned, we are going to be refining the things that we have learned. When we are able to do it at a better level, what he says is, of course, we will also think that we are eternal. We are also reaching the eternal level.
And diagram for existence we had no. I think that existence diagram. Okay, from here we can go. That seems right. Yes. Now there again, no. When you say that they are supreme, what does it mean? You are talking about self, or you're talking about coexistence, or you're talking about space. So, for example, an example, Ram. Ram is a self, okay, but having, you know, so much good qualities. So again, it is the same self. And I would like to be like Ram. You would like to be like Ram if I'm able to see all the good qualities in Ram, for example. But when I say that this is supreme, okay, someone has something very special, then what do I do with the other? I'll just seek some help from the other. And then I do not have the self confidence in me that I can also be, you know, a similar human being like the other. So when we are worshipping, whether we are asking some favors or we are trying to be like the other. For example, I can place a good photograph here. He's a very nice person, but let my child never become like him. Okay, it means I do not have complete confidence in his conduct.
Bhaiya, Bhaiya, in all the darshans, Bhaiya, here, Bhaiya, what is the role of the guru? Because I hope to avoid confusion, to move towards the solution, we need my tradition. We don't have any guru directly. We pray to God. In my other way, where I got married, they always keep one guru. You go with the guru so that you will attain the path. Since already they came through that same path, so they, if you are in a wrong decision, they may help you. So that will help me to spend 10 years can be reduced to 3 years to reach one solution. So in all the darshans, what about the role of the guru who is taking to me to the right path? Bhaiya, guru.
So essentially, the guru is there inside you, your natural acceptance.
I need to experience by my own self. It will take 3 years, 4 years also. But if I am guiding through, for example, our UHV content, it is helping me to like to put me in right path where earlier I was not there. So now I am treating this as my guru. So same way for every darshan. If we go with the guru who already came through that path, it is easy to reach the liberation or
So
higher
guru is the
potential.
mentor. Basically, the
Mentor.
person, yeah, somebody who is mentoring you.
Yes, yes,
Yeah, so
but
that
the
is
role of guru is very much needed, I am believing, so that I don't want to spend many more years to realize something.
yeah, but there the role of the guru also is to draw your attention to the natural acceptance.
Yes, of course.
Otherwise, you will keep on asking, like
Yes,
sharing like all your questions to other person
yes,
and not reflecting upon yourself.
yes, yes.
So the role of the guru is to draw your attention to your innate potential.
Okay, yes, that is correct, Bhaiya. Yes.
That is an initiation. Rest of the things are to be taken care of by you.
Okay, okay. Food. Okay.
So what we can do, we have lunch here, we can share with all. And when they get lunch packets there, they can bring for us.
Yes, Bhaiya, sure.
Huh?
Buffet.
So they can carry some bags.
Minimum 2 hours, yes, ma'am. 3 p.m. they are telling. 3 மணிக்கு தான் சாப்பாடு. வேணும். இப்பவும் அதுதான் வேணும் மேம். அதுல எந்த சேஞ்சும் இல்ல. இல்ல
Uh,
மேம்.
I can continue, but maybe people will feel hungry, no? Yeah, that is true. Either we can share the food and everyone can eat.
No, Bhaiya. We don't want Bhaiya. Let them have.
Or the shops are open, no? People can have something as snacks there. Yes.
UHV food share பண்ணிக்கிறீங்களா?
No, so, but again, people will go out at 3 o'clock, isn't it? For having lunch there. So it will disrupt the evaluation session, no? Yes. So in fact, we have the assignment here. No, so those who do not have lunch at the moment, what will you do? Okay. Yeah, but how will evaluation take place then? Evaluation. Yeah. Yeah, so we have 2 sessions, yes. So like working on different philosophies. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, so those who are here can share. That is fine. Yes, that is. So either we can have snacks or we can start working on different philosophies.